Laura's Gift by Annemarie O'Brien. Chapter 4, The Red Door. I bid farewell to Ruslan and hurried to the kennel with Czar to tend to Zola. Along the way, the cold, early evening air slapped my face and the gray sky hinted of snow. Once inside the kennel, I couldn't help myself and ran from stall to stall, peering into each one to greet every dog. "Hello, Bori! Hello, Terran! Hello, Bayan! Bistri! Burin! Lovkiv! Rosik! Ris! Volan! And Vlast! Hello, sweet Zarya! Zvenda! Umnitsa! Bababcha! Bronya! Raduga! And Shaika! And hello to you too, Dobreya! Skoraya! Snigurka and Sila." It was the last stall where we kept our breeding dogs. I found Zola tucked in a corner, quietly resting on a bed of straw settled under the stone that hung from the ceiling to ward off evil spirits. Zara greeted Zola with eager little bites on the neck, while the other dogs in her stall quickly surrounded me, nosing and nudging me for attention and pieces of meat. I put a lead on Zola and led her through the kennel into the birthing area. Zar followed beside her, his head held high, like a protective rooster. Zola explored all four corners of her birthing stall, sniffing and digging as she went, until she settled herself just underneath the stone that hung from the ceiling in a corner closest to the stove. Zar nestled up next to her. "Such a smart girl!" I curled up next to her and Zar, imagining what their pups would look like. Before I knew it, I was fast asleep. Early the next morning, Alexander woke me from a sound sleep. "Isn't it a bit too soon to put Zola in a birthing stall?" "Papa said the other dogs were stealing her food," I said. "Poor girl," Alexander said, stroking Zola's head, and then his eyes fell on the bandage I had tied around Zara's neck. "Is he all right after yesterday?" "He's fine. I wanted Papa to notice him," I said. "Have you talked to him about giving Zar some training?" "Not yet, Larochka." He patted his chest with both hands. "Up, Zar." Alexander caught Zar's paws and waltzed him around the birthing stall. "Are you ready to become a father, boy?" It pleased me that Alexander wasn't disappointed by the mating. "That looks like splendid fun, Sasha. Zar's never jumped up and danced with me like that." Alexander let go of Zar's paws. "Give it a whirl." I patted my chest. "Up, boy." Zar sat down. I patted my chest again. "Zar, up." He lifted his paw. "He's afraid to hurt you," Alexander said. "Please, Zar." I pounded my chest this time. "You won't hurt me. I'm strong enough." Zar gently pawed at my leg. "I can see in his eyes that he wants to obey," Alexander said. My cheeks burned red from embarrassment. "He doesn't think I can do it." Just then, Papa barged into the birthing area. "Your mama's about to give birth." "Hurry," Alexander said. "I'll watch over Zola." Papa and I rushed home. Again, Zar was forbidden inside and curled up on his sleeping pallet, now positioned by the door. My knotted stomach waged a tug-of-war between my fear of Mama giving birth to a boy and my excitement at welcoming a sister into the world. "The baby's coming. My water broke," Mama said between moans. With a strained face, she kissed her cross 3 times. "Fetch the village midwife. Tell her the cow needs tending and offer her a payment that's customary, not a kopeck more. Tell her I'll give her an extra gold ruble if she delivers a healthy boy," Papa added. "Remember to look for a red door," Mama said. When I finally reached the village where rows of log homes sat along the river's edge, women in dark dresses wearing colorful flowery scarves over their heads were busy collecting buckets of water. Their small children toddled behind them in bare, muddy feet. I quickly found the log house with the red door situated on a prominent corner in the center of the village. I pushed open the gate made of woven twigs, walked past a patch of dying marigolds and a spotty garden of herbs, and knocked on the red door. A hawkish-looking man with claw-like hands opened it just a crack. "What do you want?" He put no warmth in his voice. "I'm looking for the midwife." He forced a black, toothy smile on his face and looked as natural as a wolf cradling a lamb. I stumbled backward in fear. Zar suddenly stepped from behind me and stood between us. A look of fright flashed across Hawkman's face, and he slammed the door shut. I approached the red door again and banged on it. "I've come for the midwife. Open up." An old woman with a hairy chin, bright red cheeks, and spectacles perched on a prominent nose opened the door. She wore her long gray hair in 2 thick braids that hung down her back and nearly swept the floor. "My nephew doesn't much like dogs. He's afraid of them," she said. "I am the midwife you seek. What can I do for you?" "I've come about our cow." I didn't like calling Mama a cow, but secrecy was necessary to ease her labor pains. "The payment for receiving the baby?" the midwife asked. "That which is customary," I answered. 2 loaves of bread, 1 rye, the other of sifted flour, a cotton shawl, and 10 kopecks in cash. If the baby is born a healthy boy, my papa will add a gold ruble." "Davai," she said, shooing me out the door like a pesky flea. She collected a basket full of herbs and a small axe, and was quick to lock the door behind her. From the window, I felt her nephew's eyes bearing down on me like a hawk approaching its prey in a shallow glide before snatching it with a quick swipe of its talons. "We must hurry," I said to the midwife. For someone so old, the midwife moved nimbly along the path and through the woods, up the grassy grounds of the estate. The air had become suddenly much cooler, and the late morning sky had turned a steel-gray color that threatened an early and long winter. "What happened to him?" the midwife asked, pointing to Czar's neck. "A hunting injury," I answered. She seemed puzzled by my response. "Does such a noble dog truly earn his keep?" I thought it a silly question. "Of course he does. Why would you think otherwise?" "Things of beauty can be deceiving," she said. Czar was no doubt a handsome dog. For me, what existed inside of Czar was beyond beauty. Perhaps it was the bond that connected him to me, and me to him, a bond I was certain would never break. And that is the end of chapter 4.